Carnatic music was never started with Sarigama Padanisa and all. When you are at the age of 3, I should picturize the swaras and show them. Like sa, sa, or sa, sa, sa. So they will never forget about sa. We all have that element of that big universal sound inside us, which is called Nadam.
There are few performances that would make you stand still and would bring in goosebumps on your entire body. I have been part of such a performance, and I am visiting a performer who is very hardworking, dedicated, and passionate about Carnatic music. A very dear friend and a loyal artist. I am bringing in Bhagyalakshmi Guruvayoor on ARTCHEMY. Bhagyalakshmi, it has been quite a long time that we are planning for such an event, and finally we got you. I was able to get hold of you. So thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to have a discussion with you.
Thank you, Saif.
And welcome to ARTCHEMY and
Thank
the talk with ARTCHEMY.
Thank you.
So I'll just start on a casual form.
Yes.
So can you just tell me, how are you doing? How is your life going on? And what are the new happenings?
Okay, I'm doing great actually. This is our season time. So have been traveling a lot for my shows and programs. So tomorrow I'm going to Qatar for a show. So I think this will continue till June end. Because as it is a season time, we have to travel a lot, we have to do the shows a lot, and we can't say no to anyone.
Okay. So you don't say no to anyone at all?
Not usually.
Okay, so Bhagyalakshmi, you just mentioned that the season ends by June.
Yeah.
So can you just put more light onto that? What do you mean by season, and why does it end by June?
Okay. Normally, by the season I mean it's the festival time in Kerala.
Okay.
Normally all the festivals in Kerala end by Kudalmanikam festival. It is the finale for the festival season actually. So now Kudalmanikam festival is going on. So there will be a lot of cultural programs in and around all the temples and also in and around Kerala, everywhere. So after the COVID situation, the post-COVID situation is like nobody is there sitting at home without doing anything.
Okay. You're talking about artists.
Yeah, exactly, artists. And artists and also normal people. So many online opportunities were there during the COVID time to learn and pursue art, to learn and pursue the passion that they have stopped earlier.
Yes.
So this post-COVID time made the people to look into themselves more actually. So I think a lot of people started learning and pursuing their passion, and now a lot of people are performing actually. And if you take the graph of the programs that we do in each and every year, this year we have a lot of programs more than usual amount of programs that we commit. So,
that's great. That's great. It's different. These years after COVID is quite different for almost all the artists.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's come back to the core, which is Carnatic music for you. So let's start talking about how you started with Carnatic music, and how is the journey has been.
Sure. I started actually, I was initiated to music by my father actually. He was the one who found that I have some talent in music. So he made me sing in a show when I was 3 years old. And then he found like, okay, let's try with her. So,
giving you some opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. So he took me to the teacher near my house. She is Lekha Krishna Kumar. She was the one who molded me into a real artist actually. She was the one who was the reason for like the training me for getting CCRT scholarship at the age of I think 12, 13. At that age, CCRT scholarship is a scholarship awarded to only 5 selected music aspirants, from Kerala.
That would be the right word, aspirants.
Exactly. So I was fortunate to be the one in that. And it's from that scholarship my attitude towards the music, it took a different turn actually.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
When you say scholarship, for our audience to understand
Yeah.
more, what is this scholarship composed of? Like, what do you get? Do you get financial support,
Exactly.
or do you get something else?
Exactly. It's mainly focused on financial support actually.
Okay.
We will get a certain amount every month to learn music under an established guru.
Okay.
And the syllabus and everything also will be designed under the scholarship.
Okay.
Like if you got the scholarship also, you have to start from learning from basics.
Okay.
That was actually a very different experience in my life, because I learned basics at the age of 3 and 4, and at that age I didn't exactly remember what I learned, but it's from the age of 13 that I actually learned music actually, because I have to start from the basics. And when I was 13 or 14 years old, I am actually, my vision is more clear in that age, and I did a lot of exercises. I approached many people, and I got a very fantastic opportunity of collaborating with my musician friends. So we used to share our thoughts, we used to share our classes actually. So it was a very great experience, from which I believed that I want to be a musician.
That is
Like
the
that.
moment that
Yeah,
you took a
exactly,
decision.
exactly.
So that is something great that you are getting an opportunity in such a young age.
Yeah.
So you said that over an year, about 5 would be selected for such an opportunity. So this would be a question that would come from a normal people's or layman's side. What about the rest of the people who are interested in music, who have the passion to pursue? Because you got a scholarship, you got financial aid, and you were able to take up from there in a more effective way. What about others? Will they be able to get any other scholarships, or how is the entire structure of Carnatic music in India right now
Okay.
for supporting people to get onto Carnatic music?
First of all, the basic thing you need is focus.
Okay.
If you need to learn anything, or if you need to achieve anything, you will have to find some way, right? So according to me, I was not planned like I must get a scholarship to learn this. It was not like
Okay,
that.
it was part
like,
of the journey.
Yeah, I just attempted, and I was also not sure that whether I will get it, because this was my very first attempt, and I was very nervous, and I was very unaware of what was going on inside, because 7, 8, the most renowned artists are sitting and they are questioning you, and you have to answer in a fraction of second to every questions. It was like I was totally blank at that time, and I was not focused. But what I observe today is children are more focused. If you
Okay.
need to learn anything, you can
That is because
easily
you are also
find
a
way.
teacher.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
You can easily find a way. I have many students who learn under me, and they are taking classes because they have to pay the fees. Even I was also doing that. If I have to pay the fees, I started earning at a very young age.
Okay.
So I don't think that is a crime or something, because even in my music school there are 8 modules you have to cover when you have to reach an advanced level. So if they cover 3-4 modules itself, I will encourage them to take classes for somebody near their home, like small children. Let's experience, no, they have
True.
they have to experience, they have to know the pain of teaching, they have to know the pain of learning. Then automatically a focus will develop if you are really passionate. So that's all actually. The scholarship and everything, now there are, I think, many more opportunities for the students. Central scholarship is there, state scholarship is there, many things, and you can get a lot of sponsors also. Many
Okay.
people are receptive now.
I understand.
And I wish they could be more receptive in case of like artists like us also. Like instead of children, if it comes to stage, they will become restricted
Not so
actually.
receptive.
Yeah.
Why
yeah.
is that, Bhagyam? Like to promote children to come on to art is something that people are supportive and encouraging, but when it comes to delivering that art and performing it in front of audience, the kind of support or reluctance is
Comparatively
backward. Yeah.
less,
So
actually.
why
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah, it's basically what I felt is like there are a lot of people who love music, who love to hear music, who love to enjoy music or dance. I generally,
Art form.
yes,
Yes.
art form. I
Yes.
generalize like art form, but they don't know the effort that we put behind.
Hmm.
They like to enjoy everything, but they don't know how much effort we are taking for singing a 1.5 hour concert or something. The very basic thing what I have observed is like it should start from the school level actually. The way you are introduced to an art form is very important,
Okay.
including the people I say like sponsors.
Hmm.
Okay, sometimes if I observe, two of my students have sponsors, like they sing and they're really passionate towards singing, so they have sponsors. And like learning or like paying a fees is a very small amount as compared to paying for a program actually.
Okay.
That's the reason. And many of the people who are introduced to the art, like it's in a different way. I prefer saying like this because in my school days I was introduced to Carnatic music with a hidden amount of passion, injecting a
Okay.
hidden amount of passion,
Okay.
because the way I introduced was like very beautiful. The way my father taught me how this transformed to this, how this swaras transformed to music, it was really amazing. And in my school also, my music teacher, Sri Mukesh sir, he was very passionate in teaching. Like if I am teaching you mathematics, I should create a certain amount of love in your mind to max.
True.
Right.
Yes.
That's the basic thing,
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
So everybody who is doing their very basic education from their schools, sometimes they may have been taught like don't waste such time for this music and dance, and you should focus on this chemistry, biology, maths. It's important in particularly in our state. It's very important to like
Be an engineer
yeah,
or a
be an
doctor,
engineer or a doctor.
you must be into
Yeah,
a
exactly.
white collar profession, which is very important.
Exactly,
Yes, I
exactly,
understand
yeah.
that. You specifically said that it is important on how a child is being put forth
Yeah.
towards art. What do you actually mean by that? Can you just talk more about it, because
Sure,
that's
sure.
an important
Sure,
statement
yes,
from you.
yes. If you are being introduced to music at the age of 3,
Okay.
if I teach you regarding the evolution of sound, discovery of nada, will you understand something?
No, it will be difficult.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So how I should teach them? I should show something to them. I should picturize everything. When you are at the age of 3, I should picturize the swaras and show them. Like
Okay.
this is sa, and a little higher, if you go to a little higher, it's re, and you should communicate to them. What I do is like I normally personify all the swaras, and I
Okay.
will talk to them as a swara.
Okay.
So for every children, a swara will be a person like this, who has this, like who has these characteristics. So that will be the very first impression in the mind of
That's
a child.
beautiful.
Actually, yeah, exactly.
Can you just demonstrate a section for just because see me being an artist, I may be able to understand it, but we may have people who would just have this particular topic pass above their head. So if you can just demonstrate it.
Yes, sure. For example, there is a theory like all the swaras are connected to some animals or birds in nature.
Okay.
So what I do, I make them learn through actions. For example, the swara sa, the name is Shadjam actually. Shadjam. Shad means 6, jam means to give birth. So sa is the swara which give birth to the next 6 swaras.
Okay.
So sa is the father of all swaras or mother of all swaras. So the bird which is associated with sa is peacock. So I will make them sing like sa 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 or sa sa sa. So they will never forget about sa. Like the common thing they see is like birds or animals. So if I associate it if I associate my mode of teaching with the things they usually see, they will never forget about that, and they will also pass this to their students also. So
True.
this thought came to me in the COVID time actually, because
So you have not been trained like this.
no, I was not trained like this.
Oh, so this is something that you discovered through your thoughts. Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
It
So
was very funny actually when I tried in my first batch, and it worked out well.
Okay.
So children, they started talking to peacock when they go to zoo, and when they started seeing peacock, when they see got, they will say ga ga ga, and they will tell me, teacher, he is not telling me ga. I was always say, so I was very happy that they tried to sing ga, and they tried to communicate with animals. More than animals, they are trying to communicate with nature. So children, they started liking to learn music actually. They were very interested, and in every music class they very keenly they were waiting for stories, and they were waiting for some animations and everything. So I was very happy,
that's very interesting, because Bhagyalakshmi, when we think of a Carnatic music class, we imagine a dark room where some sunlight is coming in. There will be a teacher sitting in the chair and students sitting down and clapping on the thighs. Okay, with the swaras,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the sa and all, like
Yeah.
that is what we envision of Carnatic music. This is something very new and interesting which people should know. Like today we are trying to transform the way of teaching,
Exactly.
which is very important. So that's great.
Thank you. There are a lot of online platforms who teach this way actually.
Okay.
One of my main references was Vox Guru.
Okay.
Vox Guru. It is an app come music learning platform for you, where I was also a student in Vox Guru under Vandana Krishnamurthy ma'am. They are exactly like they do many awesome things, like teaching children small songs through animations. So that was a very great inspiration for me. So I couldn't do more animation videos or something, but I could make them learn through these what you say, that cards, no? That, and with some Google images and everything, I managed to learn the very basic, because the main thing and the most difficult thing is like developing an interest for the children. Some children will be like, they will be already interested, some will be born for that, and for some children we have to develop an interest. So if we connect everything, if we connect our every learning with the everyday activities, they will enjoy. That's what I learned from teaching this children actually.
Very nice to hear that, Bhagyalakshmi. Let's go towards the history of Carnatic music.
Sure.
So, can you just tell us, when did we start listening to Carnatic music? How did it evolve, and what was the transformation? Because and what do you think the current scenario is, and how are we going ahead? So, quite a lot of questions to you, but if you can just start talking about, I'll help you in between.
Sure. So, before talking about the evolution of music, you should know about the evolution of sound.
Okay.
Because sound is the very basic element you have to understand first.
Okay.
From where it is coming, and how you are utilizing your sound for communication. So, you all know about Big Bang Theory. The entire universe itself, it was originated through Big Bang Theory. That means a big sound, actually. So, we all are a part of that big sound.
Okay.
So that the thing is that we all have that element of that big universal sound inside us, which is called nadam.
Nadam. Okay.
So you might have known about the evolution of human beings actually, from a monkey to a human. So it took years and years for the evolution of this human being. And what happened was, humans were not aware that they have something called nada inside them. till
Okay.
a certain period.
Okay.
They used sign languages to communicate, and they used these symbols and everything to communicate.
They
You
were
might
not
have
able
learned
to,
in
They
Yeah.
were not able to understand that they can formulate the tones.
Exactly, exactly.
And communicate.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you all might have learned in social studies and all regarding the drawings in Ajanta caves and everything.
True.
It was a very basic mode of communication
Okay.
at that time,
Okay.
actually. So how they came to know about the power of sound is a very interesting question. If you have to start doing something, you should have some inspiration.
Okay.
Right. So even humans had such an inspiration. From where? From nature.
Okay.
They try to imitate the sounds of birds and animals that they usually hear around them, and by imitating such sounds, which made them more interested, like which made them more creative, they started thinking about, like, from where this sound is coming, from where
Okay.
this is coming. So what can I do with this? So they started observing some continuous sounds from the nature, like the sound of flowing water, the sound of bamboos, sound of cuckoo. Everything has a musical element in it.
True.
Because it has a continuity. So if you're talking like yes, and if you're talking like yes, it makes a lot of difference. Right. Exactly like that. So what they started, like, they started observing what is happening around them. They tried to imitate, and they slowly try to identify the power of sound inside them, and they started developing their talent, and they used this sound for their communication purposes and for entertainment purposes. It's like it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
It has taken quite a lot of time
exactly.
for the transformation
It
to happen.
evolved
Yes.
over a period of time.
Yes.
And all this came to their access, actually.
And we started talking with words and communicating
Exactly.
through our sound.
Exactly.
Okay. Makes
And
sense.
the thing is that the people, for their livelihood, they have to do something in their area. So according to the according to their job, according to the maybe agriculture, or maybe raising some cattle, or maybe, so according what they did made a culture. It was like it formed a culture, and it was from that culture any art form evolved. So that was how actually the humans were introduced to music. I should say like that. Music was not created by humans. It was there in the universe, and it took a time for them to access.
Or
That's all.
understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Discover what
Exactly.
music is.
Exactly.
So, how did we reach on to Carnatic music? What was before that? Like,
Okay.
Are we aware of it? Do you have any understanding? Not you.
Yeah.
We as humans, do we have any understanding of how music actually transformed and how we landed on to Carnatic music?
Okay, so as I told earlier, it was their job, or it was their occupation in a certain area, which was inspiration for some creation of some art form. You have heard about the folk songs and everything, which they
Right.
usually do in the agricultural paddy
Yes.
fields and all. So in the case of Carnatic music, what happened was, like, the very basic element for the discovery of Carnatic music was the Veda chanting in the Veda period.
Okay.
So as you know, there are 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva Vedas. At the time of Rig Veda, the chanting was there only in two tones, like, which is called Udatam and Anudatam.
Okay.
Something which you sing in a higher tone is called Udatam, which you sing in a lower tone is called Anudatam.
Okay.
So what you do, if you start singing for many years, you will discover something
In between.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
That's what
Okay.
exactly happened in the Veda period also.
Okay.
They discovered some space in between the Udatam and Anudatam, and they named it as Swaritam. Likewise, in each Veda period, they discovered something new. So by the end of Samaveda period, they discovered 7 basic points,
That
which
the
create,
swaras.
yeah, exactly, that
Okay.
which turned into Saptaswaras.
Yes.
It was called Sama Saptagam.
Hmm.
Later on, it was named as Sari Gama Padani, and they became the Saptaswaras. So this is the very basic of evolution of Carnatic music actually. But Carnatic music was never started with Sarigama Padanisa and all. It actually started with the what you say bhajans, kritis, or the music in a which have a Sanskrit lyrics to praise some lord or to sing about a current situation, like that. It's not exactly Sari Gamapa came into existence. It was like Purandara Dasa is called the father of Carnatic music. He was the person who built a foundation for Carnatic music.
Like he structured
Exactly. He structured the basics, how you should learn, like that.
Yeah, I understand that because see, we have a thought process, or we believe archaeologically that the Vedas have existed somewhere around 800 BCE to 15,000 BCE. So there are mentions of Natya, there are mentions of Nritya, Swara, all mentions are there. So the kind of music that we envision now or we enjoy now in India is actually thousands of years old.
Exactly.
Because you connected it from Vedas.
Yeah.
And how do you relate it? Like today, when you are performing Carnatic music, how do you relate your performances with any of the Vedas or chantings of the Vedas? Were you able to think in that line ever?
Actually, I'm not because I don't know more about Vedas.
Okay.
In my childhood, I used to hear a lot of Veda chanting from my nearby temples and all, but only in my higher in an advanced learning only I could understand all these things, because I was not taught in my childhood like music was evolved like this and all.
Okay.
I started reading a lot of books and I came to understand. After reading about this, whenever I go to temples and whenever I hear Veda chanting, I used to connect the swaras. So that's the thing I usually do. I am in that stage now.
Okay, you are still in the still learning. We
still
all are.
in the
We all are
research stage,
Bhagyalakshmi.
actually.
Yeah, it's good to get
Yeah.
deeper into what you are doing. That's very interesting. Next, which I actually wanted to ask you, like you were talking about the hardship or the hard work that is put towards by a artist prior to the performance. How do you prepare for your performance on stage?
The very basic thing I do is I will just sit silent for some time,
Okay.
because most of the programs I do is for dance programs, classical art forms.
Okay.
Rather
Classical
than
dance
my,
performances.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I used to accompany as a vocal artist for classical dance performances. So we really need time to process and also to make ourselves active throughout the performance. We should always in a like we should always be in a thought of thinking, okay, what she will be doing, what the artist will be doing, like that. Because singing for Carnatic art forms means it's not your freedom which you show in the stage. Actually, it's their freedom and you have to support them musically.
Okay.
So that's what we are doing. So there is a hidden amount of risk actually. Whenever you go out of the track, or whenever you couldn't understand what is happening, you can't support them.
Okay.
So
What do you mean by supporting them?
supporting them means to what you say, they may need, they do their own choreographies and they do their own like emotional what you say, what you see on the stage is the emotional picture of them actually, what they feel at that time.
Okay.
So if you watch a movie without any background music, how you will feel?
Yes. I understand
Understood.
how it will be. Yes.
Yeah. The most common example is the Chitram movie.
Yes.
That background music is the thing which add the life to
the movie,
what
yeah.
what you watch. That's exactly happening on the stage.
Okay.
So they are doing something which they need to express, and they will be struggling to express. So what we will do, we will give a push. So they
Through
will
your
pour out
vocals.
their emotions, and everybody will enjoy.
How has it been emotionally for you to perform on stage? How do you, as an artist, how do you take up your work emotionally?
Actually, what I do is like I never restrict myself on the stage. I normally allow myself to flow, to go with the flow actually, because we can't predict anything what will happen on the stage. So I never take anything emotionally. That's the very first thing I do. I try to take everything very practically, and yeah, just go with the flow. That's all. Nothing particular I will do.